Hello and welcome to the Falcon of Footy podcast. I'm Clarky.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Chris.
What happened there?
You completely threw me off because you didn't say your usual thing, and then I'm thinking, everything's all out of sorts. It's Tuesday. I don't know what's going on.
Anyway, that's
And
Jess.
she's Jess.
we got Chris and Jess who simultaneously announced themselves in rooms. And hey, big news just happening in the last few days. So probably a good thing that we're recording on Tuesday this week. We'll talk about it on the other side of the theme song.
Hey boys, play the footy.
Is the other side of the theme song? Guys, I didn't throw it off that much, did I? I threw Jess off the planet.
You normally say, I'm your host, Clarky, but you went, and I'm Clarky, and it threw her off. And then I've got a croaky voice because I've been sick, and so I went to say I'm Cassie, but the C didn't come out right. And I think that might have thrown people off.
Well, we've got no host, but we've got an Assy and a Cress.
It's just, what gets me is usually Jess is delayed when on my end. She claims she's not delayed, but usually she's delayed on my end. And this week she went early.
She's like,
yeah, normally she's last,
always
isn't
last.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we normally do it in alphabetical order. Anyway, we're here.
Is there a
guys.
delay?
Oh yeah, it is alphabetical, isn't it? I never even thought of that.
That's how we decided it.
Well, if we did it alphabetically, then I'd have to be last, and it's just weird to go through Cass, Chris, you, and then me.
And I'm your host. I mean,
Then we'll try that in the off season and see if it fits.
Don't. He'll do that next
Yeah.
week and we'll all be fucked up.
Well, folks, let's get into it. There's a lot of stuff happening at the moment, and Chris is already bored.
Chris is watching the video.
Chris is not listening. Yeah, the worst part is that
this week, guys.
that was so
Got it.
loud, which means that Chris was like fully prepared to just not be podcasting. So we'll start off with there is a heavy topic that's going around at the moment, which involves there has been an alleged sexual assault committed by a Sydney Swans player in Melbourne over the weekend after their game. We don't want to speculate, and we are doing our best to make sure that we present the facts that have been confirmed, because conjecture and misinformation never helps in these cases. It's been reported and confirmed that 4 of the players involved were Riley Bice, James Jordan, Isaac Heaney, and Chad Warner. Sorry, my brain was trying to remember which one. It was initially reported that Nick Blakey was involved, but that is no longer being confirmed. And there's just a lot of speculation around that. But at the moment, he seems to be separated from the incident. There's a lot of difficulty in talking about this, and I think from all that we have spoken about, guys, a lot of the issue at this point, without any of the information, and the police are currently investigating, and we want to leave them to do their best work, it's just highlighted the need for the AFL clubs and media to do better in reporting about instances of sexual assault and violence against women, and in general, poor off-field behavior by AFL players. So yeah, I think, it's I don't where do you guys want to jump into it first? I think the AFL came out just tonight, and Andrew Dillon, I think, actually probably had one of the more firmer responses to it, pointing out that, we expect people to uphold a standard of sports people and people within the AFL to uphold a standard of behavior that is accepted not only by us but by the community, and this is not that at all. Leave the police do their job and allow the victim to have her privacy and obviously support that she needs. Apart from that, it's been pretty dog shit.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had a lot of problems with the way Matthew Pavlich handled his press conference or his statement to the press early yesterday, just referring it to an incident and as something that a situation that the players found themselves in, as opposed to referring it to a sexual assault allegation, which, we don't want to. It's a tricky thing because Australian defamation Like, it's so high, so everyone's, like, right on alert. Like, you can't say anything that is not fact at this stage because, yeah, you could be in trouble. But what a lot of people are worried about, upset about with Pavlich is that situation of, like, taking the responsibility away, not kind of claiming it, not owning it, and not mentioning the females
it's
at the centre
terrible
of it as
to
well.
have them come out and then play it off like "Oh, they're in a little bit of a pickle, aren't they?" Yeah. "Ooh, our boys found
Mm,
themselves in, a little bit of hot water." No, it's fucking serious. Like, regardless,
yeah.
as I said, we don't have any of the facts at this stage, and the police are doing their job, but an alleged sexual assault is a serious thing and should be reported and handled as such.
Yeah.
I think
I
what's
think
also hasn't helped is that without mentioning what the rumor is, there's been a very clear rumor going around that pretty much everyone has heard about what allegedly happened. And I don't think that has helped because I feel like that has turned it into a bit of a joke rather than people focusing on that a sexual assault has occurred. People are just kind of laughing at what the object was that the rumor is mentioning. And that's kind of downplayed the severity of the incident, which is a bit shit as well.
I think this just plays into the bigger picture that we have with football players and the AFL in general, where there seems to be a tolerance for absolute fuckery from all of the players, and they're just on a pedestal, and everybody seems to look at them and go, "Oh, but it's so and so, or it's so and so. Like, they don't mean anything by it. It's so fine. Like, that's not, they're a football player. They're an icon." And we need to start being more critical of them and holding them to a higher standard in every facet, but like particularly this because it's horrendous. But it's like another thing added on the list of just shit that's accepted constantly, and excuses made, and the language that's used around it. And the AFL is such a huge organization. They have a responsibility. There are children who are exposed to this stuff. There are young adults who are exposed to all of this stuff. Like, it's not acceptable to just allow this shit anymore. And, like, regardless of what's truth and what's just alleged and all of that stuff, like, it really does need to be treated more seriously by everybody. Like, I think Andrew Dillon did a good job with his statement. It could have been stronger, but I guess he was trying to be a bit diplomatic with it. I don't know. But it always feels like whenever anything happens, there's always someone ready to make an excuse for them on their behalf. And it should never be about excusing any of this shit.
There's the excuse factor, and there's also like I think we're all a little bit sick of today hearing about how it's going to impact Sydney's season and how their season is in turmoil. And like I'm glad that I've seen the same sentiment from a lot of people, that people are like, fuck their season. I don't give a shit about their season. Like, let's focus on what's actually happened and the victim here.
Yeah,
100%.
it's like that. Yes, that is what is that. Yes, their season is in turmoil, and that's their fault. They did that,
Exactly.
and they can deal with it. So yes, that is true, but that's their problem. I think one of the things that got me at first was like, why were they out? Why were they drinking? And I guess it's because they have a 7-day turnaround between games. They were playing on Sunday. They're playing again on Sunday this week. They're allowed to go out for a drink after. And there was a timeline of when they all returned to the hotel, and like the coaching staff was out as well. Dean Cox returned around midnight to the hotel. But we were talking about it, if the game finished around 7, they probably got back to the hotel after the game around 9:30 if you're thinking about it. And then if you go out to dinner, have a few drinks, midnight is kind of reasonable. When they looked at the other timelines, most of them, those 4 or 5 guys that were named, were kind of drifting back in between 2 and 3 a.m. I'm like, that's late for a work night. Like, it was a work event. You're on a work trip.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking, Gaz. Like, if this was any other profession and they weren't footballers, what would anybody be going, oh, poor Steve, look at him. He just went out after the work dinner on the weekend and sexually assaulted someone. it's going to really mess up his end of financial year. Like, you'd be going, what a fucking dickhead.
Yeah,
I can't
he'd
believe
get
he's done
fired.
that. Get him fired. Like, absolute, like, there would be no two sides to that. So why is it acceptable just because they're footballers? Like, why is this behavior just allowed in even just terms of, oh, well, we just go out and have a big one after we've won a game. Aren't you professional athletes? Aren't you meant to be like conditioning your body and taking things seriously? Like, why
like,
is this
I'm
allowed?
I'm all for people blowing off steam and having a few drinks and having a dinner after a rough day at work. Like, after work drinks are a thing. That's what they were doing. But it's, what we've heard is happening at these events, what they're getting up to. It's like that's your go-to on a
Yeah.
Sunday night after your
After
work
beating
drinks.
And I
Essendon.
think it makes it even more disappointing that these people have support systems around them that you would think would help them avoid this kind of behavior, or even being in a situation where you could be involved in an incident that includes a sexual assault. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people talking about the way that we view these people, and I think Cass, you shared a really great video by Hannah Ferguson, which was posted on Instagram Reels, which talks about how the different news outlets try to downplay and mitigate the meaning behind the words that they use to report this incident. And it's really important that we stay clear to this is a serious incident that has serious meaning and should have serious consequences if it's proven. Obviously, we here we believe victims, but also we have to take the evidence as it's found, and we leave that to the police. And I think that's probably a good place for us, your second favorite podcast, to sort of step away from that, Vincent. So don't spread misinformation. Go out there and wait for the facts, and make sure that you support your loved ones and support people so that they don't do things like this and that they're not in situations that can lead to things like this. We all have a responsibility to do better and be better, even if you're not directly involved.
And I think the AFL is such a huge, huge organisation that the male CEOs can be making a difference, and they should be, in violence against women, acknowledging it and supporting it. Excuse me. So sorry. Supporting the victims and like, you have the chance to make a really, really positive statement from this, and they should be doing that.
One thing I will give Sydney a little bit of credit for, I was reading just before, which is why the video started playing. I didn't realize my phone.
No, we get it, Chris. You don't want to talk to us. It's fine.
That Callum Mills, obviously the captain of Sydney, has today met with the AFLW team and has taken questions from them, has immediately apologised to them all, has answered their questions. So, good on Callum Mills for standing up as a captain should in this situation.
I think anything less than standing them down until the result of the investigation is probably the appropriate call. But it's really good to hear that, as we expect from Sydney, who are, big advocates and big allies across a number of different issues that affect minority groups. It sounds like they're doing the right things internally, and there is some comfort, a small amount of comfort in that as the situation develops.
Yeah, and for the W team to come out and say to Callum, like, we're not apologising for him. We're not for these people, for the accused. Like, we're not, like, don't expect us to apologise. On their behalf, we have questions of you, and for Callum to apologise to them in return.
In
is, I
other
think, really
news,
important.
Carlton have finally appointed a coach. Guys, who do you think it was?
Who was it?
Oh, Mr. doesn't want the job. Josh Fraser has been appointed as Carlton's new head coach in a move shocking the entire AFL world.
This is totally like you see a job on Seek and you apply for it and you go through like an extensive application process and interview process, and then you find out that they hired someone internally. What was the point of them advertising? Because they have to do
like
it
if
anyway.
is it Jen Sokusa who was involved in this one and Corey Enright? If they turn around and go like, well, look, can you present anything that is like this, and then points to Carlton going from 0 to hero in Even though, yes, you're right, Cassidy is a weird internal hire, but he's got the evidence to back it up, at least. This wasn't like Essendon eventually naming James Hird as coach.
He always looks like he's worried that he's going to get the full-time coaching job. Like the look
Even
on
now
Josh
that he's got it.
Fraser's the look on Josh Fraser's face is like, oh God, if these guys keep winning, then I'm gonna have to take this thing. Like, he just looks so worried about it.
I wonder if actually he even interviewed or they just announced him and he's at home going, wait, what?
I genuinely think that might be a case, and it is something that we pitched on this show a few weeks ago. It's probably the most likely scenario, I think.
But look, if he did want it and he did go for it and he did present a good case, well done. Congratulations, Josh Fraser. Wow, I'd hate to be the team that has to play Carlton this week.
Oh.
It's Fremantle.
I forgot. It's very funny, Cassie, you mentioned to us that Essendon as well got a call from Carlton to just be like, you guys aren't announcing your head coach as well, are you? And that's... Sorry, Chris.
No, Chris was saying that, yeah.
Somebody put it in the document.
Yeah, it was, I think it was Tim Watson said it today, that apparently the Carlton CEO called the Essendon CEO to make sure they weren't announcing it on the same day. It's like, it's like calling their friend to make sure they're not wearing the same dress to the party. It's
You're not
that's an
also
odd thing to
announcing
do,
Josh
right?
Fraser, are you, Essendon? Because if you do...
Josh
I
Fraser's
guess-
sitting there going, fuck.
I guess they forgot to call Sydney and ask
Well,
if they
at
were
least he
announcing
could get
anything yesterday.
he could get one of those half scarves. You know, maybe he could get which player's mum had it? It wasn't. No, I thought
Isn't
it
it
was
the
the
Mackay
Deconics.
mum?
Maybe, yeah,
Oh, the DeConning mum.
Yeah.
But the
Um,
Mackays are across Carlton and Essendon, aren't
that
they?
is true. There is a connection.
Yes.
Yeah. Another mum that did it was Bradley and Stephen Hill's mum in the 2013 grand final, Hawthorn versus Fremantle. She had to have the split scarf as well.
It must be awkward in that situation when it's a grand final, like
Mm.
deciding which rooms you're going to go down to, because clearly you're going to go down to the winning
The
rooms,
winners.
and
I mean, they're obviously
and then
the winners.
your losing son is just sat there by himself, just like, oh, I guess
don't know,
they
I
didn't
feel like-
pick me.
I feel like if you've ever
Sobbing.
seen Stephen Silvani, it doesn't seem like it's that hard of a choice. I think I would have to pick a favorite child. We'd have to pick one each.
No, you just Mrs. Doubtfire it. You just do half of the party at half of the event at
as-
one party
yeah,
and half
as
of the
a
event at the
Scottish
other party.
woman.
Just switching your scarf as you run from one room to
Yeah.
the other. Pardon me, I just have to go to the toilet.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
I just have to
obviously,
pick it a
and then it's time to get the wig and stuff. I'm going to miss roaming Brian by the time we get to the other rooms.
Yeah. I've just had a mental image of BT dressed as Mrs. Doubtfire, and I don't hate it.
Yeah, I was going to
BT
say I like
is the most likely AFL media personality to either be a Mrs. Doubtfire, do a Mrs. Doubtfire, or be tricked by a Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs.
That is a
Doubtfire, the
great
musical,
description.
is opening in Melbourne soon. I bet there'll be a crossover with Fox Footy. Or is he Channel 7? Channel 7.
He doesn't do
where-
Fox, but he
where
does,
he does.
Triple M and Channel 7, right?
Yeah, Triple M and Channel 7.
Yeah, they'll do a crossover and he'll be
There's
in
a
the
lot of
skirt,
problems with
just
that.
you
There's a
watch.
lot of problems with that Mrs. Doubtfire movie, and I can't wait to see a zoo party on the stage. Anyway, speaking of parties, hey Cass, you guys, the Fremantle Dockers, after beating Adelaide, thank you, have now secured the minor
You're welcome.
premiership spot.
Yeah, remember a few weeks ago I was like, we're kind of minor premiers, and you're all like, yes, you are, but we weren't because
Yeah,
there
yeah.
were still 3 games to go. We were only 3 games clear at the time. But now we're minor premiers. So this is the first time since 2015 that we were, that was the last time we were minor premiers. So just the second time in our club history. And we also equaled the record for most home and away wins in a season for a WA club. And the highest attendance record as well.
So if you
all home
win,
games.
if you
So that's
win
great.
this week, the
Well
record's
done.
yours.
Oh, we equaled it. Yes, I was like,
She
what?
didn't
What are you
seem
trying to
very, she
say?
didn't seem
'Cause we
very
equaled it.
excited when
Yes.
I laid that in front of her.
Yes, yes.
You
So
can
yeah,
hear the wheels turning from here.
I was like, I gave a fact. What fact did I give? It's been a big week. I've been really sick.
I was very happy to see this, obviously, because Adelaide losing helps Melbourne quite a lot, but it felt like it was a very close game until it wasn't. So very, very Fremantle. Maybe this is the new Dockery.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, we're going to get a Wharfie time. Ooh, it's nice and close.
They
we're going to get a
wouldn't shut
Wharfie
up
time.
about it on the
Ooh,
commentary.
and then we just blow it out by 5+ goals. And sorry, guys, no Wharfie time for you.
Jess and I were watching Channel 7, and I swear, like, every 10 seconds, they were like, Is it Wharfie time? Is it Wharfie time? And, like, it made me, you know, one of my finest moments in tweeting of this season so far was the Superintendent Chalmers and Skinner doing the Wharfie time. May I see it? No. Because that's what it feels like. Like, they're obsessed with Wharfie time. I didn't realize that the last time that Wharfie time was activated was like almost 10 rounds ago, over 10 rounds ago.
I remember you asking at the time, what is this?
Yeah, and you
What
had
am
to
I
explain to me the
watching
rules
here?
of
What is
Wharfie time.
this?
And even then, the conditions were met, Cass, and no Wharfie time.
This week, no, and it
Was
needs to be
it
within
was
10
within
points.
10 points.
5 minutes to
10.
go.
Yeah, with 5
Needs
minutes
to be
to go.
within 10 points either side with 5 minutes
We
to go.
weren't sure. We were debating on the time. I was like, I remember it was 10 points, but I can't remember how long left it had to be.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe it was 10 points, 10 minutes, because that would make it a really easy rule to remember. But apparently
10
not.
minutes is a long time for the crowd to cheer. Like, the final 5 minutes is kind of helpful.
Oh, is that
wonder
the
if,
idea
like-
that everyone has
Yeah.
to cheer
Yeah, I
nonstop?
think so.
I
Oh,
wonder
God.
if, like, if there was, like, 5 minutes and 5 seconds and then someone kicked a goal to put you up by, like, 12 points, and then they'll just like, no Wharfie time for you. And the crowd's like, oh.
To put us
No,
up.
I don't think the
I
Wharfie
it
time
was like
lasts specifically only for 5 minutes. I think they can call it like, it's like under 5 minutes.
within the final 5 minutes. If the game is in the
There's
balance.
too many rules around Wharfie time.
It's funny because I remember the first time they did it or they announced it, I was like, what is this? This is so lame. But now it's got everyone in a chokehold. I'm just like, fuck yeah.
This is exactly what Port Adelaide tried to do with Never Tear Us Apart, and everyone was like, ugh, but Freo do it, and they're like,
It's because Never Tear
this
Us
is
Apart is
cool.
cringe,
We'll
and
tolerate
I will die on that hill. It's cringe
Yeah.
as hell.
Did you get to watch it at the start of your game this week or did you skip over it?
I didn't.
No,
I actually,
not a
I
chance
didn't.
for watching
I
that.
didn't think they did it. Did they do it?
Well, they always do at their
Yeah,
home
they
Yeah,
do
games.
it
they
every-
always do.
every home
Well, no,
game.
we just didn't watch the beginning. We were watching. Wasn't there another match on? And we were watching.
Oh, did we
that,
watch the
and
draw?
then we
That's right.
switched over. Who was on
We're
Brisbane?
watching the Collingwood Hawthorn game.
Wasn't it Brisbane? No, not the same.
No, that
Yeah,
was a
and
night
so
game,
was
wasn't it?
Melbourne.
It was Brisbane, wasn't it? Oh no,
Yeah, but they do the Never Tear
Was
Us
it?
Apart at the
Yeah,
start of the
and
game.
the Hawthorn Collingwood game was on first. Because
that's right. Because
Yeah.
well, no, we played at 8:10. It was a late one.
in Adelaide,
pesky time. Anyway,
Yeah.
Freo. One thing that I wanted to call out: they cut to the crowd, full person who was in a mersuit, which some people might colloquially know as a furry, decked out in Freo colours, and I love that. You live your best life.
Was it like a
it looked
unicorn
like
or something?
some kind of dog/cat. That is where I was going, but it might have been a unicorn. I was so excited to see. Like, I'm like, yes, you know what? You go and live your life. I love that for you. Please do that. Have that confidence to go and be joyful and enjoy football.
It was the retro round for us. So they had their anchor on. They had the OG Guernsey with the green at the bottom. It's funny because at the time, I remember people being like, the Dockers Guernsey is so lame. And now everyone friggin' loves it. Like, Dale Thomas was desperate for one, had to give him one. People really, really into him now. Not you? You don't like him?
I'm not a huge fan.
Okay, there you go.
Every time I see it, all I think about is Clive Waterhouse.
That's not a terrible thing.
What?
Hmm.
The one thing I think about those Guernseys, though, is I think they really pinched the players under their arm. They were really tight. A lot of them were having to, like, pull them out.
Don't pull them out on field.
So I hope they're okay. No, you get
Yeah,
BT will get very
BT
hard.
will die.
get Paddy Voss to do it. And the other great thing that happened in the game was Isaiah Dudley kicked a Goal of the Year nomination incredible little sneaky goal. In an interview after the game, he was like, yeah, I had just said to Patrick Voss on the bench, come on, let's go fire the crowd up. He's like, and then I did that, and I think I did. I think I did fire them up.
Sorry, I've just had to
So it was
Google
very
who Clive Waterhouse is, and the first image that came up has made me deeply concerned that Chris thinks about it.
Is it Johnny
No,
the dog?
it's him lying on the grass with his like tongue hanging out, and it just says Clive Waterhouse is a
What?
cult hero at Freo. I'm gonna send it.
Exactly.
It was a cult
that
hero.
is true. It's just
Oh, yeah, that is
Yep.
him laying on the ground with his tongue out.
anyway.
But he looks like Johnny the dog, right? We've had a lot of
He
players who
does
look
look like
our
Johnny the dog.
mascot,
This was a
Johnny the
really good
dog.
win for Freo. I'm really happy for you guys. You're having
Mhm.
the success. Anyway, I hope we beat you in the grand final.
And now it's looking like Jai Amos may not play this week, and Murphy Reed is
Sore?
still a test to play. Yeah. Which is not great to go up against Carlton, but, you know, Carlton are locked into the wild card now. They don't have as much to play for.
Well, yes,
So,
I'm going to use this as the perfect jumping off
Who
point
knows?
to talk about Carlton because Carlton played Chris's Bulldogs. And
okay,
hey,
let's do it.
they both decided to score the same amount of points. 82 apiece. A draw in this part of the round, in this part of the country, localized entirely to round 23. And it wasn't even the only one of this weekend. 2 draws in one weekend. Collingwood and Hawthorn also drawing with 92 apiece. Interesting. I had never seen a team so excited to draw a match. Like, Carlton were ecstatic with that result.
Well, so if they had lost, they'd be 7th? Yes, because they would have been on 54.
No, if they lost, then they.
Oh, wait, I'm
would
looking
still
at
be in-
Geelong. Sorry, wrong one.
Yeah, they'd still be in the same spot.
I was like,
However, they.
Where
What
am
are
I
you looking
looking?
at?
Oh,
However,
sorry.
they'd only be
Yeah.
4 points above St Kilda, which would have meant that if they lost next week and St Kilda won, then St Kilda would jump into the wild card spot.
Yeah, right. So now
Watching
St Kilda and
them-
GWS are definitely out.
Watching them for the last 2 minutes of the game chip the ball around to play for a draw made me want to vomit. It was disgusting. That is all my notes on the
That's
game.
fair.
So if you go to the AFL app and you go to the last 2 minutes, that's all we'll see, just them chipping around.
Pretty much. They just they deliberately slowed the game down and just tried to keep possession of the ball and tried to chip it around. They didn't at all try to win. They just chipped it around because they knew that if they got the draw, then they were in the wild
Yeah,
card.
I feel like that makes sense as the calculated risk option because risking Hawthorn
No, it doesn't.
even
You're out there to win, Clarky.
yes, up
Go on, try
So
again.
if this was the other way around, Chris, if it was the Bulldogs that needed to be in the wild card, you wouldn't have been happy to see them just chipping it about to try and save the game by getting 2 points.
No, because you're not out there to draw. You're out there to win.
yes, up there Kazali and all that. I
The other thing that was very annoying
No,
was,
no.
sorry, Clark,
You're
you
right.
keep trying to
Yeah,
get this
you know what,
sentence out,
Chris?
but I keep cutting you off.
What do you-
The other thing that was very annoying, Ed Richards played a fantastic game without us having Marcus Bontempelli. Also, shout out to the Bonts. They had their baby on the weekend.
Oh,
Little baby girl named Daisy.
Aww.
Ed Richards had a very good game in the absence of Marcus Bontempelli, but with about 2.5 minutes to go, he made the dumbest decision I've ever seen on the wing, where he either could have tried to kick it inside the forward 50 or just handball it to Matt Kennedy, and instead he kind of ran around in a circle and then got pinged for running too far. And
Yeah, you
Yeah,
think
we
you
should've won.
you see him
Fucking
try to gather the football and then he hesitates and then ends up having to hold possession because he was about to just drop it. I think is that the one that you're talking about?
yeah, and then he kind of just ran around in a circle, and then the umpire was like, "Not too far," and it was like he didn't have to kick it. I know he hesitated because we didn't have any. Carlton had flooded the back line, so we didn't have any open players in the forward line. But he had Matt Kennedy just standing right next to him. He could have just handballed
Play
it.
the
to him.
theme song because it's time to check in on our son.
cats in the cradle and the silver spoon, a little boy blue and the man in the moon.
Josh Dolan with 9 disposals, 1 goal, 1 behind. Hey, good job, son. That's a good game. That goal was awesome as well.
Yeah, the goal was good.
I feel very
That
proud.
goal was really good.
Proud of you, son.
This felt like it was definitely the Bulldogs playing against the grain I think that a lot of the stuff that has happened to you guys recently, Chris, has kind of made me just very like, this like it felt like Carlton were going to roll over you quite well, and then you controlled the game quite well right in the middle, reflected as well by the score worm. Artie Jones stepped up to actually score some points for you in the absence of other good forwards. Aaron Norton, I thought, was quite good. Like you said, Ed Richards had a really good game, and yeah, Carlton they just have that tenacity to keep on going. Like it feels like they're going to stop, and then they just don't.
Well, Patrick Cripps is, I won't say career best form because he's won 2 Brownlows, but he's in ridiculous form at the moment. Like he was very good on the weekend. He's just having a really good season. It seems to be kind of going a little bit under the radar. Even though this was a draw, I thought we played well, and I saw something before. Daniel Hoyne, the guy from Champion Data, said that we had, I think that, like statistically wise, we had the toughest fixture this year, and we've had the second toughest injury run this year. The only team that had a worse injury run was GWS. So I know everyone loves to fucking can us and say Bevo out. He's lost the players. We've done okay to end up in the wildcard round. Do I think we'll go any further? Probably not, because we're probably going to play Adelaide in the wildcard round. But considering the injuries that we've had, considering the tough fixture we had, it hasn't been the worst year.
That's the spirit,
Are you
Chris.
saying you think you're going to play Adelaide because you think you're going to lose this week and you think Carlton's going to win this week?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Ouch.
I don't think we'll beat Melbourne. Are we
are
playing
playing
Melbourne
this week, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll beat Melbourne. Max Gorn will have an absolute field day with no Tim English, and Bevo has already said that Bont probably won't play again.
Yeah, that's terrible for my Supercoach as well. I have like 6 people who are all out. Because I have Sheasel who had his cheekbone cracked open.
That looks
Youch.
Poor
bad.
Sheasel. It looked awful, right? Like
He knew right away. The way he goes straight
Yeah.
off, he was just like, no, that wasn't good.
And then, yeah, obviously Murphy Reed's not playing this week. Christian Petrarca is also out this week. Bontempelli, and then I also already have a bunch of other... Oh, Horn Francis, that's who else is out. Horn Francis.
Did you have any Sydney players? Perhaps
No,
Isaac
I don't have
Uni or
any
Chad Warner?
losers. Allegedly.
I mean, you can call
Allegedly.
them loser
Alleged
any day of the
losers.
week.
So,
if
yeah,
you want.
so you're not feeling confident then, Chris. And you know what? I don't want to play in the wild card. Getting knocked down the wild card feels like it would be really bad for my heart. I'd rather just lose it in regular finals.
Can you guys still get
Yes.
knocked down to the wild card?
potentially,
Oh,
yes,
wow.
I think. We were
Because
looking
Geelong are
at
playing
the
Richmond, which means that
figures,
they will
on the
match
weekend.
our points and their percentage is better, which can push
Yeah.
us out. And if we lose
Adelaide.
and Adelaide win by enough, then they'll jump ahead of us as well.
Yeah, right.
No, Adelaide are ahead of us on percentage. If Adelaide win, we're screwed.
And then you guys would play each other
Correct.
in the wildcard.
I think there is still a
Unless-
chance that we could play Collingwood as well.
Yeah, and if Freo beat Carlton as well, which I'm hoping for because it's a game in Melbourne. I don't want to see another loss.
So what's the wild card matchup then?
It'll be 7, 10, 8 versus 9.
Okay, so we would potentially get knocked down to 7th, I think, worst case scenario, because our
Which means we
percentage
play
is better than
Carlton.
Collingwood's. Unless they win by a massive amount, then we would play Carlton.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. But, it would be nice to play Carlton and then
Okay.
win to break off the shackles of that finals loss that we had, that 1 point loss we had against them a few years ago. Anyway, speaking of Melbourne, this felt like comfort watching because I didn't have to be stressed about my team because they won by 76 points. 132. Yeah, 20 goals. It
20
was nice.
goals.
Probably could have been 100 at one point, but I feel like we definitely took the foot off the gas just a little bit. The only big news from this one was Jacob Van Rooyen was cited for a hit on Alir and has been given a 3-week suspension. Melbourne contested this and the tribunal convened and said, nah, get fucked. So I don't think, Jess and I definitely don't agree with this, but also I understand how they came to this based on the fact that concussion injuries and incidents are based entirely on a rubric, which means that they don't give any wiggle room because they're cowards. Unless, of course, you try to fracture a guy's neck doing a tombstone pile driver. In which case, it's a football act. An accident of football, some would call it.
I had to flick through the Rolodex in my mind to be like, who fractured someone's neck? And I was like,
Billy Frampton fractured Bodie Majacek's neck and then got 0 weeks for it after they appealed to the tribunal because it was considered an incident of football or something like that. That's how they described
The hand of
No, it
God,
wasn't Madonna.
I believe.
No,
Maradona.
living on a prayer. Yeah, like a virgin.
like a virgin.
Oh, okay.
I said what I said. And I'm not going to back down and I'm not going to correct myself. The hand of God,
No,
Madonna. Only got 4 minutes to save the world.
Famous,
I just think
famous Argentinian soccer player Madonna.
I love his earlier work. I just think my dad would be really proud if he was listening to this podcast and he heard me referencing Hand
And then
of
he'd be
God
immediately
and Maradona.
disappointed by the company that you keep.
He'll also hate how much I've been bagging Carlton. But
That's
okay.
because they're fun.
Mention
It's funny when they lose.
I did see that Melbourne brought in a biochemist as their support argument for JVR, showing footage of other times he has made similar actions and been like, see, like that's just how his hand goes. And the biochemist was talking about reaction times. It takes 0.05 seconds when you see something to react. And you can see Van Ruin seeing Aaliyah with 0.2 seconds to go. So he did not biophysically not have enough time to
I don't think that
react.
was the part that people were they were contesting, really. I don't think anyone, and this is the worst part about it, is that I don't think anyone thinks that there was any intent in him hitting Aaliyah. Who are these
they
people?
do. There's a lot of fuckheads out there that have come out of the woodwork, as they always do, and said that he clearly intended to hurt him and turned it into something that's absolutely not. But carry on.
Jess, you sound like you have some feelings about this.
I like the.
Yeah, you know, I do know Jess has some stuff she wants to get out of, so I'm going to give you the floor.
Look,
It's the Clarkey soapbox,
Yeah,
but
I've
it's the
stepped
Jessica
down.
Clarkey soapbox this week.
I have been incensed with rage by the AFL ever since my poor boy Gus had his career ended at the hands of Collingwood, and it feels like I have paid extra attention to all of this shit since then, and I'm just continuously disappointed by the favoritism and the lack of impartiality in all of this decision making and how they push back on this stupid matrix that makes absolutely fuck all sense, and I don't even know who approved it because it should not be used. It's like using BMI at the doctors. Like, it makes no sense. It's absolute horse shit, and every single time something happens they go, no, but you know, the concussion and the matrix, and it's definitely got to be at least this much. It's like all common sense has gone out the window. Alaire was sat on the bench smiling. He probably had a minor concussion, which good that they didn't let him play, because that's what we've been championing this whole time, to not push players back out or to encourage them to continue to play when there's any shred of doubt that they might not be at their best or in the capacity to play because of the Christian Petrarca stuff. And then you look at all the other shit that happens. There's been so many severe injuries from tackles, and it feels like those ones are the ones that go completely unpunished. The ones that obviously come to my mind are the ones with Melbourne players, but it happens with other players too. Like, it's not just Melbourne, but it always seems to be fucking Collingwood that get off scot-free. What the fuck is going on at the AFL? Like, how is this constantly happening and nobody is allowed, like, stepping up and going, hang on a sec, who's making all these fucking decisions? Because this isn't actually okay. It's not to say that anything should change because of the time of the season, but surely you're looking at this and going, hang on a second, he clearly didn't mean it. There's so much evidence to show that he didn't do it intentionally. He even, the second that his feet hit the floor, he turned around to see if he was okay. and his face was like pure shock. He clearly did not intend to do that. If you genuinely were going into that contest and had the intention to hurt somebody, then yeah, fuck you, first of all. And second of all, you wouldn't turn around and be like, oh, you're all right, mate. Like, you just wouldn't do that. Braden Maynard is my number one example of that. You piece of shit, if you listen to this. I just cannot fathom it. And then people come out in support of Braden Maynard and Billy Frampton and go, oh, but this is such a good guy. Like, they didn't mean it. It's clearly there was nothing else they could have possibly done. Yeah, there was. Not break someone's neck, not end somebody's career. There are absolutely options that you could have taken. Jacob Van Rooyen was in the air. He's a mammoth human being. The force behind him, he was also pushed by a port player, and nobody's talking about that. Like, there's just so much going on. I would have even taken a 1 week if they'd reviewed it and gone, look, he was concussed. He was out of the game. We have to take this seriously. He does need to miss some football. Fine. 1 week seems fair. I'll take that, and I'll still be salty about it, but I'll take it. 3 weeks. Like, are you fucked? It's absolutely outrageous. I genuinely can't stomach it. And it feels so unjust. And it's one of the things I cannot stand is when something is not just and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, it makes me so angry. I'm going to stop myself, because if I don't stop myself, I could literally talk about this all night. I'm so angry.
No, it's totally fair. I think a lot of people, we end up with a lot of different opinions about these incidents as well. And I think something that probably doesn't get talked about a lot is the fact that intentional incidents are very rare these days. So I saw an ABC reporter refer to it as a rotten act, and I'm thinking, really? Like, yeah, it feels so sensationalist. But yeah, while I don't agree, I will applaud JVR's maturity of like going and checking immediately that Aaliyah was okay. And then when the port players came to sort of remonstrate with him, he was like, "Oh, I'm dipping out of here. Like, I'm not fighting with anyone. Like, I wanted to see if he was okay. I'm going to back off until it calmed down." And then he went and, once again sort of offered his like, "Hey, I hope you're okay. Like, I'm sorry." Both as Aaliyah was going off the field and then after the game. And Aaliyah knew, and I'm glad that he's okay. Like, that's a good result that he was on the bench and able to sort of sit out the rest of the game and feeling good when, you get incidental contact with the head. That's what we want to do.
I was just scrolling through David Zeta's thread on Twitter from the tribunal, and he pointed out that a similar debate over incidental contact also occurred during a Van Rooyen case in 2023, which was ultimately thrown out by the appeal board, and it led to one of the most iconic shots in the long history of Australian television. That was is that the moon moment when Jared Waitley and Mark Robertson were watching
what a weird connection.
On our AFL 360. Yeah, that was the moment.
It's all
Just
coming
like
full
moon.
circle.
Tom Sparrow has re-signed with Melbourne, which is also great news. To talk about something a little bit lighter, I don't know about you, Jess, and I'd actually probably like the neutral opinion. I've really am starting to believe, and I don't want to, because that means that I'm so much closer to being hurt.
Yeah, but some of us have been on board this crazy train since the beginning. I said we would make finals. I said we'd go all the way, and we're almost there, baby. Let's fucking go.
She did.
We can't say that she hasn't been consistent. But then again, Cass also did say Freo would finish on top of the ladder. So, lots of flowers going around for everyone. All I can do is move us on to the next game, which is the Hawks and Collingwood, the other draw of the round, which is the second time that these guys have drawn this year. And not only that, the result was decided by the same person. Dylan Moore obviously kicking a point after the siren in the round 8 match. And then in this one, he had the final kick of the game that was a shot on goal that fell short to give them the win.
Also, this is the first time ever in the history of AFL VFL that the same two teams have drawn twice in one season. So that's a fun
It's so
stat.
poetic. It was so like it was almost beautiful watching it happen in real time and
It
being
would
like,
have been
wow,
beautiful if
it's
the coverage of it
the
actually
first
showed
time.
what happened
Oh
to the
my
fucking
God.
ball. I didn't know what the hell was going on because the camera cut off as the ball was dropping, so you didn't know if it actually made it or not. Yeah.
Yes, and it did look like it went through a little bit, and then I saw people celebrating and was like, "Huh? Are we? Is it? Did they? No? Did they get it? The
So it
Collingwood
went from
players were
a wide
celebrating."
shot to the
Yeah,
goal
well, it was
line,
the
but then
so
it
the
doesn't.
shot that they
It shows
were
it
trying to follow
bouncing.
the
But
ball
you're like,
from
where is
behind
that
Dylan
bouncing?
Moore.
Is that the shot?
So it was the
that happened?
wide shot, but it didn't show low enough, so you didn't actually see the players knock it away. You just saw the ball going towards the points, and then you didn't know what the fuck happened.
Right.
Great work by Sam Swadling, though, who is obviously his, like, 5th game or something like that at Collingwood. Like, super
Yeah.
awesome I love it when new players have a moment. Like, it feels like there's
Yeah.
just a little bit of that changing the guard. Rowan
Should we
Steele as
adopt
well,
him?
who is not as new, but has really started to hold his place in the side at Collingwood. And it probably is all well and good that the timely announcement of Steele Sidebottom retiring for the Collingwood Magpies as well, that we see these new bloods come through and the old guard sort of changing over. It was a bit sad seeing Steele Sidebottom's retirement speech.
Did you see the video of him? I saw. I think it was today. It's probably older than today, but I saw a video of him. I think his partner was filming him like lay on the floor with one of his kids, and he was trying to tell them that he was retiring, and they were really sad. And they were like the kind of caption or whatever was around how he spent 18 years of his life there, and how monumentous it is because that's all his kids have ever known. And they were really sad. They were like, can we still go to the football? Or like, can we still, what, daddy's not going to go there anymore? And he was like, no, I don't have to go there at all. I don't have to play. And it was really cute
I
seeing
do
how
like the thought that they were
much they
like,
love it.
"Can we
as
still go to the
kids.
football?" And he was like,
that's really
"No,
inspiring for
I'm
them.
done with that part of my life."
It's funny that all the retirements, not just side bottoms, have come out recently as
Never.
well. It's Tom McDonald announced his, Nathan Broad also announced his, as well as Dion Prestia.
Well, Dion Prestia announced his, but then on radio said he hasn't said the word retirement and he's leaving the door open for if another club wants to come for him. He said his body feels good, which, based on his career, I don't think his body has ever felt good.
The last time he
yeah.
felt good was 2017.
Yeah. He said that he hasn't said the word retirement. He's just said it's his last game for Richmond.
That sounds like
Right.
they asked him to leave.
Yeah, jump before you're pushed.
Yeah.
It always feels sad at this time of the year, though. Like the first one always catches me off guard, and they always have that same like framing on the pictures that I see of like the AFL's Facebook page or whatever, where they're like honoring this year's retirees thanks to Host Plus or whatever the hell it says. And I just think, oh, it's like watching puppies get shot in front of me. I'm like, oh, no, another one. Oh, no, not you. Oh, and then there's some that I'm like, oh, yeah, probably time for you. Yeah, it's probably.
Oh,
Who
no,
are
not
you?
you. And then this other guy, you're like, no, you
you're
can go.
okay.
Yeah,
You
you
can
can go. It's probably your time. That's a good.
Jess, do you have anything nice to say about me? Who?
No.
I actually, like, we'll move on in just one second, but if it weren't for Tom McDonald, there is a large section of my life that would be completely different. And it has given me a level of attachment to him that is just very, probably outwardly strange, but makes sense to me, where I used to, obviously I started with Jock Reynolds. And the first thing that I pitched to Leckdog for Jock Reynolds was an article about Tom McDonald, because it was the season after he started as a forward and he kicked 52 or 53 goals in a year or something crazy like that. And he looked really good. And so I pitched Leckdog an article to put up on Jock Reynolds that was about, Tom McDonald could be like a weird smoky chance to be a good Supercoach pick. And that really started me off with them, which obviously led to, the footy mailbag. Leckdog, Patch and Dama were some of the closest people that I have in my life. And, eventually this, meeting Jesse and starting the Falcon. So without Tom McDonald, the Falcon probably doesn't exist.
Wow.
Okay.
So when that Ute goes
Concerned-
past on Grand Final day, I should give him a
Yeah.
thumbs up because
Concerned
I'll be
that you. I'm concerned that you only mentioned meeting Jesse and starting the Falcon. There was not one mention of me in there.
Sorry, who are you again?
Yeah, who are you? Oh, you're the one that hasn't watched The Matrix, right? that's
Wow.
a deep cut. Sorry, Chris. You were also a pivotal part of the inception of the Falcon. It was actually mostly Jesse. and now who's left, baby?
We took it off him.
He retired. He said the word retired. We'll never see him again.
He didn't say the word retired. He left it open because his body feels good in case another podcast wanted to pick him up.
Now, we'll finish off with one game that was close and actually turned out to be very interesting. North Melbourne played the Geelong Cats, and North Melbourne lost by 15 points. But this was a very spicy game. Like this was probably 5 minutes more from potentially going North Melbourne's way. They seemed to have a lot of the momentum. They were playing quite well, and I think maybe as well Sheasel going out with an injury in the second quarter didn't help. But really rough game for them, and probably some of the green shoots that I keep on hearing about.
God, North Melbourne plus green shoots equals question mark, question mark, question mark. Like, we just keep talking about their green shoots. Hurry up, add some fertilizer, grow already. So we can then chop you down when you get too tall.
Yeah.
I'm obviously very critical of North on this podcast. Everyone keeps saying how this was such a good game from them and they really took it to Geelong. I'm sorry, but if you're up by 38 points at quarter time, you shouldn't be losing.
Well, they were
allowed
winning at that
Geelong-
point.
Do you
They-
want to think about that one, Chris?
No. They were up by
Think,
38 points and then allowed Geelong to kick 9 goals in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't bring any bells of maybe a certain grand final where a team was maybe up by 30 points and
Yes, we shouldn't have lost it. That's my fucking point.
how the Valiant fall. I kind of get what you're saying, but I think it's because our expectations of North Melbourne are so low.
Yeah, true.
See, I tore Chris apart then because he wasn't sure whether he wanted to denigrate North Melbourne further or concede his point. He couldn't pick. It was like putting his 2 children in front of him and threatening to cut one in half like Solomon. Dean.
Speaking of retirements, does Geelong have anyone retiring? They're also old, surely.
I mean,
I think Chris Sott
I'm
should
expecting
retire.
them to do it in a batch, a whole lot of them just in one go, because we'd be here all year, I think.
Surely
them all in
Jeremy
this-
Cameron doesn't
rather
go
than-
again, right?
Rather than on the back of a ute, they have to get like a maxi taxi and have them all inside. A double-decker bus, and they're all just sitting on the top.
Like a clown car.
Speaking of Geelong, there was a very funny story that I saw earlier today. Not funny in that Geelong is now being reported as the front runners for Zach Butters. That's not funny at all. But it was very funny. Xander Maguire reported that Geelong made a last-ditch attempt to convince Butters to sign a contract with them. And part of that presentation was Bailey Smith. He was the player who they used to, it's an odd choice, to sell the lifestyle in Geelong to Zach Butters. And there's a very funny clip of Xander Maguire explaining this and saying, we reached out to Bailey Smith for a comment on this to find out if it was true and how the meeting went. And he says, and his response was, and I quote, meow. And that was it. He's an
And is he
interesting cat.
wrong?
I
see what you did there.
literally.
Well done, Chris.
Yeah.
Well done. Some of your best work today.
Thank
Wrap
you.
it up. You're done. Good night.
Much like North, I set the bar very low.
That's not true, Chris. You're better than North.
That's probably the nicest thing you've ever said to him.
Yeah, that is.
Well, speaking of better than North, we should know when to exit, and that's us. Thank you for joining us once again on the Falcon. Remember to follow us on socials at Falcon Footy Pod, and you can do that on Instagram and X. Those are the 2 places that we are. You can also
Correct.
follow us individually. Cass, you're at?
At Casvag.
Chris?
At Lowry _16.
Jess?
As Funky Jess with two Y's.
Do you tweet?
I did tweet about 3 weeks ago because the umpiring in the Melbourne game was really bad. And that was it.
Shocking. You can follow me at QuantumJC or at the Footy Mailbag, which is the Supercoach podcast I do with friend of the show, Damo. Until next week, make sure you tell your friends about us.
Thanks.
That's your homework. I'm going to give you homework. Tell your friends about your second favorite podcast. And when they go, why don't you tell me about your first favorite podcast? You go, that's too mainstream. I want the second best guys. And that's what, just like they said in Armageddon, I want the second best guys to drill that asteroid or whatever.
When you said Armageddon and second best, I thought you were referring to the fact that Armageddon and Deep Impact came out at the same time, and Deep Impact was the better movie.
Was it?
In my opinion.
Which one's Deep Impact? Is that they're both asteroid movies, right?
Correct.
What's the one I'm thinking of where they're underwater and the giant shark eats Samuel L. Jackson?
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea. Okay.
Definitely
what
not
a
a
movie.
sister movie to Armageddon at all.
It's got deep in the name. Anyway, this show's over. See you later, kids.
Bye.
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 The entire team at the Falcon Footy Pod would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians and cultures of the lands and seas on which we live and record this podcast. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples, elders, and ancestors, and thank them for their continued connection and contribution to this country's national game.